Well, hello! Once again, you have found a Texas Steampunk Connection, broadcasting to you throughout the multiverse Steamverse from our various bunkers and airships. With me, as always, is Thax, Gentleman Adventurer.
Hello, hello.
With me is Jack from Steam Chest.
Hello.
And we have with us today Master Blue Stocking from Steampunk Dollhouse podcast. So once again, we are here to talk, probably about steampunk, most likely, because that's what this is about. Thank you for listening to the Texas Steampunk Connection.
Good evening, everybody. You are tuning into the Texas Steampunk Connection. It is Tuesday, as usual, November 15th, and we have just finished the Steampunk November for the year this Sunday, and we're all going back to our regular lives and jobs, and it's all very sad and disappointing. But we had a great time.
We did.
And we hope you were there and had a great time too. Now everybody's posting pictures, and I'm seeing, costumes and stuff. I saw that person. I saw that guy over there.
It's been so long since I've had time to do this. It's great.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm in that picture. That's me. God, I'm fat. What the hell happened?
Oh my God. The pandemic happened to us all.
I know. And suddenly, I look at, I have all these pictures just slamming me now because this is the time of every Steampunk November. And I'm like, what? This is kind of so much grayer in like a 2-year period. Like, what happened? Looks like I was using Just for Men forever, and then suddenly I just forgot.
Oh, I know.
I was definitely looking at a few pictures and going, oh yeah, I stopped dyeing my hair. So, yeah.
It's just like, I need to, I don't get it. It's just suddenly like COVID just like killed my beard color. Like, oh, I guess I'm going to have to start. Yeah, I'm fine with it. Every white hair I get from now on is one step closer to becoming a wizard. So we're all good.
There you go, rocket.
Yeah. So I'll be running around calling short people Frodo and whatever and acting like a crazy old man.
Great. Looking forward to that.
It's never too early.
Never too early, Sam.
One of the awesome things about this Steampunk November is, for me, I got to meet Blue Stocking in person, live, for the second time ever.
Yep, and I got to meet Jack for the first time ever.
It was great.
Yeah, it was delightful. I got
and
so
we all
many
got
hugs.
to meet under Kitty's tent, so it was great.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I got to take my best friend and her daughter, and that child came away with so much loot. It was amazing.
And I got arrested for all sorts of fun stuff.
I got
Great.
arrested. Thank you.
You got arrested
Jack.
too.
Yes, I did.
Kind of one reason I got arrested was paying off the local constabulary for fake arrests. Great.
What did I get arrested for? Drinking alone?
Trying to vote.
Being a librarian? I don't know. Could be anything.
They actually wrote it down. I'll have to ask Nicole to find out what it was.
She said drinking alone.
Drinking alone?
Yeah. Because I was
Gotcha.
sitting over there by the fire pit with my cup of wine, just taking a moment. There's a lot going on that day.
Oh, I know. I was explaining it to her. It's like, so if you've seen her, she's like, well, yeah, it was on screen. I have like no conceptual idea what she would look like in person. I'm like, all right, well. So we start breaking down your costume and like your bag, and apparently that bag is really what cemented.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That is a brilliant bag.
brilliant bag.
It's like full leather. It looks pretty beefy.
It's
Yeah.
a Japanese school bag. That's all, or a recreation for cons and stuff. Yeah, but it's also, it was bugging me this year getting stuff in and out of it, and I realized that every other time that I go and I've had that bag, Matt has been with me, and so he just takes his wallet out of his pocket, and I don't have to go into my bag for my wallet. So this year I had to keep going in to buy things for a child and for myself. But so yeah, that's I like the bag. It looks really good. It's just when I have to keep getting into it to get stuff
It's not the
out.
same as having a pocket.
No, or like my satchel that I have. I found like a Swiss ammo bag, and I put little like rivets in it, and have what are those climbing
Carabiners?
Carabiner.
Carabiners?
Yeah, I have carbiners that latch to my belt. So I have this wonderful bag for carrying everything, and it looks good. And it's been the best thing I've ever done with my costume. Because I was like you, I was like trying to backpack. So I was like, I hate carrying a sack around at a convention. It just looks so tacky.
Yeah. I mean, the backpack's great. It puts everything, I can get everything in there. It's just I need pockets for like
I need someone to do it.
my
for
debit card.
Quick, I need a pocket somewhere else.
Did you notice the bandolier that Rita was wearing on Saturday? She's got this fiber artist bandolier that with like a big ball of yarn and measuring tape and scissors and little. I thought they were just like charm bracelet charms, but she told me that they are used for marking out on your stitching where the stitching is changed, so you don't have to like continuously count, which is genius. I have no idea how what to do with the needles.
Sewing, knitting, and any yarn work to me is like its own weird specialization of witchcraft.
Knitting is magic. Yep.
Slow motion like GIF of how a sewing machine actually works. It still blows my mind that we've even come up with something that weirdly difficult and complex like 200 years ago.
But knitting?
No, like sewing machines.
Oh.
Like actual sewing. Like, have you ever watched a sewing machine actually do it?
Oh, yeah. Sewing machines are amazing.
Like,
yeah. Even
I think of sewing machines as being simple.
I've got 5 if you want to examine any, including a hand crank.
I actually have 3. No, 4. I don't use any of them. 2 are antique. Well, I guess 3 are antique because one was my dad got for my mom the year I was born, but I don't know, is that an antique now? It's 46 years old, so.
Okay, I have more than 5.
Yeah.
I learned on like the little compact Singer from like the early 1900s. It's electric, so it's like one of the first electrics. I guess it's 4.
I've got
like,
one. I've got 2 of those. Yeah.
Like that's the one my mother has. She's got the one with all the complex, like 800 settings on the side that do all sorts of random stitching. Guess which is the one we use all the time? We pull that little one out, set it up, and go because it's easy. So dumb.
Those Singers are made of solid steel. They never wear out.
Oh yeah, you could use them as a war.
All the machines I have are Singers. Yeah.
Rita, I like you only have one machine, and I used to use it all the time, but now I've gotten lazy. I'm not braggable like these gals.
No, I can't use them. I have 2 that are antique that look pretty. I have the one that like I said, my dad got for my mom the year I was born. I tried to learn on, and then I was going to try quilting like 5 years ago. I bought a quilting machine, and it's in a desk cover in there, and it's never been used. So yeah, I just don't have the patience for sewing. I can cross stitch and sew buttons, but that's pretty much it.
I can hem my pants. And so webbing for my like a computer harness is where I actually started off with all my stuff.
I take my pants to Wichita Alterations down on University.
So Lex is the sewer. She's the one that comes up with all the cool things. I sit there and I give her great plans and I change them throughout the process.
One of those. Yeah, I used to do that to my mom
the entire time, and somehow end up with something great. And she looks at me going, "You never tell me to change the thing afterwards."
You'll get what you get.
I got what I got. And it's really wonderful. It's the prototype vest I've been wearing for like 13 years now.
Oh,
yeah. We'll have to finally make the actual vest one day.
It doesn't fit anymore, though, does it?
Oh no!
It does. It fits just a little tighter than when it would start.
Sassy Jack.
Sassy Jack.
Just add some, little,
I need
insets in it. You can
either I need a full-blown vest that goes all the way down past the waist. It looks more like a jacket with the arms cut off, which is where I kind of really want to go with these days, I think. Maybe like a hybridized weird thing with like some sort of like decent folds over still right here, but I don't know. I'm in the market for looking at cool vests. I've always loved John Crichton's vest from Farscape, so I'm always going back to that as my main middle, and then work in every direction from there.
Well, Kitty, we're gonna need to talk about steampunk costumes for a 7-year-old.
Oh no.
We have ideas. Ideas are being had by the Yes. Yeah. Pictures, ideas, steampunk,
Street
clockwork
urchin.
fairy. No, she wants like a little clockwork fairy outfit.
Oh my gosh,
dress.
yes.
Yeah. So, because apparently we're going to Galveston.
Yes,
Awesome.
Awesome.
you started it.
Yep.
You
she's
now
already
will
got the
have a
weekend,
minion
so-
at every convention you go to.
Yes. Yeah. So the weekend's already been set aside. We are going to be there April 1st.
Well, before we get any further, we need to have some drinks.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Don't you think?
Mhm.
I mean, I've already
got it.
started. But that's just because of me.
Jack, did you say you wanted to start?
Yeah, I want to start. Let's start. I got drinks.
Oh my.
So everyone knows this one, especially those of us who met at the convention. I brought me some of the Schaffenhofer grapefruit beer, the Heffenweisen again, just because it's really good. I got like 20 of them over here, so I got to drink them. Not all at once, just over a period of time. I'm enjoying them. They're grapefruit flavored. They're delicious. And
Just
the
shotgun.
colder it gets outside, the more and more I like grapefruit. I'm that guy. You get like a crate of grapefruit by Christmas, and I will eat all of it by the time January rolls around.
Interesting. Are you a Dickensian urchin that you
Maybe.
crave that citrus that you
Oh yeah, I'm having to fight scurvy off all the time.
get excited about the orange in your stocking?
He's excited about the coal in his stocking.
Yeah, because now I have something for my engine. Gee, it's resources. I'm never unhappy with resources.
Okay, so grapefruit beer.
Grapefruit beer.
Love it.
So Saturday night at the can I get like a convention? Kinda. But I went to the quickie market up the street and I found a vanilla porter by Breckenridge. Nothing new, but when I think of winter, a good, porter, dark with vanilla, coffee notes, that sort of thing. That's my go-to. So that's what I'm having tonight.
Nice. Well, I went for the hot tea toddy tonight. So Adagio tea makes a really good autumn mist green tea. It's like vanilla, mapley, kind of citrusy notes in it. And I didn't have any lemon juice, so I used key lime juice and honey and a whole bunch of Jack.
Oh.
So I hate you so much.
What you do is just like that's why my toe was really warm earlier. Steeped me.
Indeed. So
So
yeah.
medicine for what ails you.
Yeah, I don't know if it actually works, but it's making me feel better. So or at least I'm forgetting about my chest hurting. So
there
it's
you
all
go.
good. Yeah. Lawrence
is hitting that dragon's milk, which still brings up visualizations that are inappropriate.
So Pax, when are we milking dragons? First, we got to find a lactating dragon, I guess.
Oh, we know. Okay, so Kitty, what are you drinking?
I have some Angry Orchard dark cherry apple.
Oh, I haven't had that one.
What?
I didn't know they made that.
I didn't either until I saw it at the
Hardcore.
grocery store tonight. And
It's
went,
hardcore, apparently.
Yes. So it was a part of the autumn fall pack.
Yeah, they do I didn't know they did cherry though. Ooh, I'm gonna have to try that.
It's the first time I've seen it, so I'm just like, yes, I
Sweet.
need me some cherry in my life, and it, of course, tastes a little bit like cherry Jello.
Okay.
Is
Alcoholic
that
cherry
a
Jell-O.
positive or a negative?
I'm calling it a positive. Mitch called it a negative.
A really liquid Jello shot.
Exactly.
Oh, Jello shots.
With a little bit of, apple added in. A little puree.
I mean, that's got to be better than the cherry NyQuil.
Ah,
Yes.
hey, very NyQuil does the job though.
Oh yeah, but it's not like something you reach for.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
There are days.
And Rita is drinking the peppermint tea. Is that the same peppermint tea that you found at Steampunk November? Because they were giving out samples, and they gave her I think it was a peppermint tea. It was like bright green.
It's supposed to be spearmint tea.
I think she thought it was pretty good.
Because she went back to get it, and something went wrong with her getting it. So
Was that the Steampunk teas or the other place?
It was Teapunk teas.
Steampunk, yeah.
I think that wasn't that the only tea seller at the show.
Maybe I'm crazy. I thought there was another place that was selling tea.
There was the shack where you could sit down and have a tea.
Oh, okay. They're
Yes, the old tea shack.
Well, I don't remember what it was called. It was right across the street where we got the beer from, and it was done up to go like a ladies sit-in place. I remember
a tea salon, tea shop.
I need to just take a camera and just run through the entire event, just at breakneck speed like this. So I can't read anything anyway, but it would look hilarious. Put to
but just like a GoPro on your head.
Flight of the Bees or something.
Oh, pupper dog.
Oh.
Yep, Sunny's back from her walk.
Got to make sure your face is clean.
So, what was one of the best things you saw or got to experience at Steampunk November this year, other than us?
I'll start. For me, it was the teapot races. That was
glorious.
That was just watching everybody trying to drift around that corner.
First off, the word drifting in teapot races.
That's what it was.
Well together.
That's what it was. They hit that top corner, and then everybody just kind of scooted sideways.
And it was just like, well, I got this. I can figure this out. And then they do exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
One of these days, I will see one of these.
I've got a video, so I'll send you a video. Yeah, nobody could get it around because that curve is so tight. The curve is not accommodating to the size of the racer.
The whole track was sort of small for that racer.
The racers.
I think they had a different racer because they talked about when they brought that one up that one was being borrowed. So I think the original one they had made has a shorter wheel span and would have worked a lot better. And someone brought their own and they had to borrow that one.
Yeah, so it didn't really.
The racer didn't fit the track that it was used to.
Yeah, it didn't corner well.
Everyone it was different than the previous Steampunk or teapot racing that I'd been to. The previous, they had 2 participants at a time racing against each other and a much bigger course.
Well,
and the participants made their own racers.
Yeah.
So I think this might have been sort of a test, a learning experience for those pulling it off.
Well, they've had it out there before.
I don't know if it was held by the same people, though. I think
because I know. Okay, yeah, because I know they've had the teapot racers out there. I think they've had them out there before, but there was plenty of room for a bigger
course.
Especially since the course I can never say it right. Is it Benefica, the corsetry place?
Yeah.
They weren't there, so that whole giant spot where their tent usually was, there was plenty of room back there. They could have put in a nice big, track. But yeah, we've also been talking about making a teapot racer for that we could take to it. I don't know if they're going to be doing that at the Galveston event, but if they are, yeah,
you'll have it.
It sounds like a challenge. It sounds like we need to start building teapot racers, rating the thrift stores for
little tea sets,
full remote control cars and tea sets and whatever it takes.
No,
this might get out of hand. Sounds like
not any fun until it gets out of hand.
That's when it gets exciting.
Be carrying in this huge setup. with fins. It's all streamlined and aerodynamic.
Yeah. All machination music from like the Looney Tunes and everything as we're like unpacking these massive things. Suddenly we have like pit crews that drive up in semi trucks and start like deploying outwards.
All right, challenge accepted.
Sounds like we're gonna have Texas Steampunk Connection. It's gonna have racers soon.
Our own racing team.
We're gonna have our own racing. Oh, we should get matching jackets and like show up to these like things, and suddenly like everyone's like, "Oh wait, what's up with this?"
Kitty, we may need to commission some jackets,
and they're all going to be based off of Farscape.
I think there should be like little bowling shirts, but like with little teapots.
I mean, I was thinking like pit crew vests.
Oh yeah, we could do that too.
I mean, obviously, we'll have to have certain vests that accentuate certain parts of our, our masculine and feminine wiles. Mm-hmm. So
we're not putting cod pieces on them.
No, hell no, not at all. No.
Male corsets.
Yes, everybody wears corsets.
Hey, everybody wears a corset.
There you go.
There we go.
I said it. Now I got to eat it.
TSC Racing.
We'll get Matt to make the logo for us.
There you go.
Well, did anybody else have something else that was my favorite part? But I was only out there for Saturday, so I didn't get quite to see as much as everybody else did.
Well, my favorite part was that we actually got to wear our layers.
Yeah, true.
It was
great. It was super cold.
It was perfect for layers. Yes.
Yeah, because aside from that, I got to stay in my little corner and stitch clasps on like crazy because everyone wanted capes.
Oh God, you made a killing, didn't you? Capes were flying out the door.
So many capes, so many.
It was.
This was the first time I didn't have a table, so I was wandering around like a lost person, going, "Am I supposed to enjoy myself or something? I don't know how this works."
Join the rest of us.
And Dax is like giving me life because he's like, Jack, it's been too long. I need a beer. And so we're like, okay, I have a direction now. Let's go find alcohol.
Yes. Now, I've absolutely figured out that I actually enjoy working the events and vending and having the role as opposed to trying to wander around and figure out, what do I do next?
Yeah, I kind of usually did that, but having my best friend there and someone who's not familiar with all of this, it was actually super fun.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because you got to see, everything kind of a little differently, and what's this, and what's this, and what's this. So, did we lose Thax?
I think we lost Thax for the moment. He'll be back.
Okay.
I think it looked like he hit the wrong button.
Oh no!
Again, the look on his face was like, nope. But one thing I noticed this year, we didn't have as much going on the stages because usually we have live music.
Judas and Magnolia were
every hour on the hour at some stage.
Yeah,
and I just feel like this is kind of a ramp up. Here we are, kind of just getting back into the groove of things. Aha, you're back.
Hey, he's back.
I'm sorry, I don't know what happened. I'm having connection issues.
Oh no!
But I'm here.
We were just talking about how it feels like we're kind of ramping back up at Steampunk November because they didn't have music at every possible moment in the day. There wasn't as many planned events, and instead of having like 5 bands leading up to Voltaire, I think it was just like Voltaire coming on and playing. So it was a little different than what I've
quieter.
Yeah, a little quieter.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little more subdued, but it was still very fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they were down for 2 years, so there's a lot going on. Because I wanted to see Judas and Magnolia again, and as far as I know, they weren't out there at all.
No,
I see Space Corps.
Space Corps was there. Yeah? I could hear them from across the.
I thought that was on the boombox thing. I didn't think they were actually there.
Oh, you know what? I don't know. I thought it was. The music was theirs. Maybe it was just being piped in.
I could be wrong. Like I didn't get a thingy telling me anything. Like there was and they had some technical issues with having their schedule online, and
Yeah.
don't get all that worked out. That's easy.
I didn't get to see any of the musical artists. I just somehow missed everything. I know that. Let's see. Well, you said Voltaire was there, but we left because it was getting too cold by then.
Yeah, it was cold Saturday night. It was 28 degrees, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some of
really?
our party didn't plan on being that cold, nor were they prepared, nor did they thought they were going to be that cold. They
Yeah.
didn't prepare well.
And I
Yeah,
know
when
Thwin Mills was there. He's played Steampunk November before. But he said he'd been playing different stages all day, and I missed him entirely.
Yeah, we were just like to the wrong side of the park the entire day, apparently.
Well, and to be fair, as far as the weather, that is really cold for North Texas at this early in November. I mean, that is weirdly cold. Like, we don't usually get that cold until after Christmas. So that was unexpected. Yeah.
There have been a couple Steampunk Novembers that were just utterly frigid
Yeah, but it doesn't
and
happen.
wet and
Oh,
icy.
well, yeah, the wet makes it worse, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
At least it
other
was-
ones,
yeah.
there was not frost on the ground when I was leaving at like 12:30
Yeah.
at night.
yeah,
That
it
is
was
nice.
But
Did
it
you
was
get
nice
frost
and
on the
sunny all
ground?
day.
Oh yeah, there's been frost on the ground. Like it rained like heavily for like the week prior, and then it froze, and so you're running around crunching through mud.
The crunchy mud, yeah.
okay,
I'm
not
sure.
this year though.
No,
Yes.
not this year.
Yeah.
Not this year.
Like there was a
Yeah.
year where about 50% of the cars didn't make it out of the parking lot. Kind of bad.
That was
Yeah.
4 years ago, 2018. That was the last Steampunk November I was at,
See, I wasn't
And-
at that one.
and
Yeah.
I froze my butt off. If it wasn't for Kitty, who lent me a cloak, I was miserable.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it had rained all day Friday, but luckily, I guess by the time. And also, did it open later this year?
It did. It
Okay,
opened
I
at
was-
noon versus 10 o'clock.
That's what I. Okay, I thought maybe I was crazy.
No,
I was
you
like,
weren't going nuts
yeah, okay.
because I'm sitting there going, as a vendor, you would have been able to show up at 10, but that was when it normally started because I had to be there at like 9
Yeah.
open. And
Yeah.
I remember eating really fast at the hotel, jumping in my car and rolling out there and being the one that opens my my table. But I know
Okay,
Kitty can
yeah.
agree to that too. It's usually like a mad dash the next day after waking up in a delirious aftermath of the day before, going, "Ugh."
Well, I only checked the website at the last minute because I just assumed it was opening at 10, and I was checking the website for something. I'm like, oh, wait.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a good thing I checked because I didn't. But that's fine. We still had a good time.
I mean, it was still open till like midnight, but
Oh yeah.
it's
Yeah.
still it's difficult for someone who like, all right, steampunk is getting old in a lot of ways, and I mean like old. I'm just
Yeah.
like a lot of people who were in the mainstream of it like have kids now, and so it's a lot harder for us to be out till like midnight and go to the drum circle stuff and
Yeah.
have all that kind of fun like we used to. Because I'm like, I got a 9-year-old I got to fling over my shoulder and haul around like this until I get him back
Yep.
into bed. And half the time, because I'm getting older, by 9 o'clock, I'm like, I'm old. Go to bed.
Yeah.
And walking around in boots I don't wear very often, and my feet hurt.
Yeah. I was in a bustle and a corset all day. We got back to her car before because we have an hour and a half drive. I was like, corset's off, bustle's off.
Yeah.
Everything's off.
You almost wish you had like the suicide, like ripping off of it, like cutting all the cords and just having it fly off. Maybe like an ejection
off.
seat out of your corset.
Yes. Yes. So yeah, it was, you get older, you just can't deal with.
It's a breakaway corset.
Oh. I mean, you pull hard enough, it's going to be.
Good
But
way to
I
Everything's
just
a
break your
bought
breakaway if
one.
you pull hard enough.
Since I had just bought that corset from Kitty, I'd rather
No,
not
you
hurt
Don't
it.
break it. Oh. I'm still the weirdo that will still wear my corset all the way home.
Oh, see, I wore it all the way there, or the other one. No, I was done by then. I was.
It's always fun walking into the Buc-ee's on the way back to Austin there in Waco. And it is, I don't know if you guys when y'all drove through, or if any of you guys drove through. I know Fax probably drove through that area. It was utterly packed. I don't know what other conventions and things that were going on, but it was a line to the bathrooms out the door. And it was like 500 to 600 people inside this tiny, okay, so they're large, but there's still that many people inside a building is really claustrophobic. And I'm like halfway in my gear and not. I'm just sitting there at like this begrudged looking, like, I don't know. I kind of look like a pissed off motorcyclist when I'm halfway out of my gear. And so everyone was just like making this like little weird wake around me as I'm trying to get to the bathroom with this 9-year-old kid who's like holding his pants.
Wait, did you go back that night?
Huh? No, we
Did
went
you
back
drive
during the
back that
daytime
night?
on Sunday.
Oh,
so
okay.
we actually left at around noonish.
Okay.
We didn't go to the second to Sunday, unfortunately, just because I'm tired of getting in at like 8 or 9 at night and then having to wake up to go to work the next morning. Just really rough on you.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I got home to be able to do one load of laundry because
Hey.
that's what's important these days as an adult, apparently.
Yep.
Oh, you're old.
Welcome to being a grown up.
No.
Yep. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's how it works.
I have discovered that my cats think that the mud from Steampunk November smells really interesting.
Yes,
you're
my
not
cat
wrong
has been
about
all
that.
over my boots. Yeah. Yeah.
My cat, yeah, exactly.
I'm
Yeah.
having to like scoop Toth up off of my skirts as she like darts into my closet. And I'm like, no, honey, I haven't washed that yet. And I don't want your cat hair all over that. And she's just like lays on her side. And
Yeah. It's something about the air out there because my petticoats, I had a big orange cat in my petticoats that I tossed when So yeah, there's something
Yeah.
about the smells at Steampunk November that they are
So-
really into.
oh yeah.
With that said, my jacket smells like wood fire smoke, for one.
Maybe that's what it is.
And I know that my pants do. Like, my cat's also been going, it feels like I've just like stuck catnip all over my gear.
Maybe it's the smell. Yeah, because we were all gathered around the fire too.
And my
Because I had
cat's
it in my
normally
hair.
an irksome little bee, but she's just like utterly drugged out of her mind right now. And she's like the most lovey-dovey thing. So I'm like, that's fine. You do your thing, Giddy. I want to actually pet you and not die now. So whatever you're doing, Shane, keep it up. I don't know how you're gonna make my cat happy.
All right,
It
Thatch,
must
what
take
was your
so
favorite
much
thing?
effort to put that thing together. I'm glad that they're having a good time. But I feel like if I were Shane or his team, by the time the event came through, I'd be like exhausted.
Oh yeah, there they are. Usually I see Shane and he's usually just sitting there smoking his like Gandalf pipe and just like leaning up against a post, just enjoying existing in the crowd. And
This year I
usually-
saw him
Yep.
scooting around quite a bit. I think he was very engaged.
I didn't get a hold of him this time. I was hoping I was run into him, but I didn't see him.
Well, he's always. I feel like if he's not standing next to a post just trying to get the air, like he's darting from one place
yeah.
to
They
another
were
to put out
shorthanded.
fires.
Yeah,
But he seemed
there
like
was one
he was-
year.
He just seemed like he was having a good time, particularly this year. That's just the vibe I got.
It's kind of we're getting back into the groove.
Well,
I
and-
remember, I think it was 2018. I ran into him, and I think him or his wife or something was telling him to go like enjoy himself. And so I walked up to him and started talking to him. And he's like, "It's the first year we actually had like enough people to do things." So he's like, "I have nothing. I've been told I have nothing to do right now."
Nice.
He's like, I think that was like he hits a stride, and then COVID happens, and then they lose all that momentum they had.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, it was quieter as far as it seemed like acts, but some of those vendors were doing gangbusters. I mean, the leather where I got the leather lady where I got the bracers, because I know she made a lot of money off of us, but there was just I had to get away from because there was too many people in that little tiny tent of hers, but she was doing real good business. And then Kitty seemed like she was doing well.
Yep.
And
You were the only one selling corsets, weren't you?
Yep.
Well,
She had the
I
lock-
saw one other vendor towards the back that had a corset on display, but I don't know if they were actually selling any. I didn't actually walk in and see what all they had.
Yeah, there was they had like the layered skirts because Shannon, my friend, she got a bustle from the leather lady, and then she got the layered skirt, and then she got the cloak from you. So
Nice.
yeah, so cute. So yeah, she had like they weren't, some of them were like corsets, but they were like corsets with the drape coming off of them.
Okay.
Yeah, it's almost like dance outfits, kind
Yeah.
of. Yeah.
Well, I
So,
saw two booths with the dance outfits.
oh, was there? Okay, I didn't see the other one.
Yeah, because one of them was the row that the campgrounds are right there to the right.
Mhm.
There was that one, and then there was the dance one on the back side of that, towards where Venevica usually is.
Yeah.
So, and I
Yeah.
didn't go into either of them.
Yeah, we were in there for a while while we found a little skirt for her. But yeah, no, there was some of the vendors were doing really, really well. So that was, and the place that had the goggles that we got for baby with the the rainbow goggles with the spikes.
Those were fantastic. What was it that I said? She looked like she was some sort of like steampunk machination fairy or something.
Yes.
Disco fairy.
Her little newsy outfit and her princess crown, her goggles, and then the necklace from Kitty.
She was set. Those things were great. Looks like she just got done raiding a jewelry store.
Yes, yes, it was excellent. Victorian urchin, that's my girl. So yeah, no, she had a really good time, but she's got outfit ideas now because she wants something that's more like mine. So.
There we go.
I want to be a steampunk librarian, Mom. All right, we can do this.
Read a book, kid.
Sit you down for a reading rainbow. Here we go.
Hey, the more you know.
So, what do y'all think of the more permanent structures that are being built on site?
I love it.
That was one of my favorite things this year, I think.
Yeah, I love it.
So I hadn't been out there since 2018 when Erica and Flavio and I were the hosts of this show, and we had our own booth. And right next to our booth was this blade seller, and it's a weapons merchant. And this year, I'm pretty sure it's the same merchant, has taken over that whole corner. It's got this, 15-foot tall. I don't know what to call
It's
it.
like a saloon almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it
They
looks
got the
great.
stairs up on the walkway to get inside. It's still open air.
Yeah, they're cool. Yeah.
That
Well, it's
building
starting to
looked
feel like
awesome.
Scarborough almost, where
Yeah.
they have the permanent structures like built into. Yeah, it's got the organic feeling of them just kind of creeping up inside the. So yeah, I like it. I think it's cool. I like seeing all the new stuff as we go through each time. So,
Now, were there any other buildings that were new? Because that was the only one that I knew of.
I will admit
That's the only
to
one that
fact
stands out
I
for
am
me.
not as big. Like I not being one that's wandered around too much in the old side. Like what I call like the Japanese koi garden area.
Mhm.
Was there something kind of redone in there? Because I remember there being a walkway better by like the drink vendor near the you go like where your booth was, and you go into the forest, and then you kind of looped around like this to get down. That felt like they had.
it's different in there because there used to be a TARDIS in there, and there used to be a TARDIS in there, and they took that out. But I didn't remember the whole big fire pit being there when we were there in 2019 because the TARDIS was kind of in the same area.
Oh, I actually have pictures with that fire pit, but it was still kind of in the middle of construction.
Okay.
I had a picture where it was like dead onto it. So it looked like I was like popping out of it with a pistol. So it looked like I was inside the well kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, they've been there's stuff coming up. So I don't know. I mean, if they can keep putting more permanent structures in there for regular vendors,
It's a little pricey, but it would be great if they actually could make enough money to make that make sense.
Yeah.
Well, and they've
it's
also
rough for
asked
just
us
one
vendors to chip in if we can. So
Sure, yeah.
Well, I know you can like claim a spot and build your own as long as it fits to a certain thing. 'Cause I know some vendors have been in talks. At least certain vendors have been in talks with them over a period of time for that. I've been involved in that, and I was looking at maybe ganging up with somebody at some point to do such a thing. But I'll admit that my steampunk business does not make enough for permanent structure out there in what they were talking about in price. So
Yeah.
But it would be yours, and you would never need to, like, as long as you kept up your spot, you would be able to come back every year for it and whatnot. So it's kind of like an investment.
You wouldn't have to bring a tent and all that, and you'd already have all your structure set up. So
you just come in, throw all your stuff in, and be good to go.
Yeah.
And keep up the maintenance on it prior. Now, I wonder if you'd also be able to do things for like the writers. They have their writers group that comes through, and the Christmas party that they do as well. So I know that there's some other things they do down there that I've always wanted to be involved in, but I live too far away.
There's a writers group that comes through there?
Yeah.
Yes.
They have a writers weekend thing. Well, actually, they have a few, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Essentially what they do is they ask like a lot of reenactors to come out there with like equipment and guns and whatnot and cannons and like old gear, like leather working and whatnot. So these people who write books will have historical accuracy built in other than it being very Twilight Sparkle of, and they use this and it's all the wrong things and it breaks everyone's continuity. It's the wrong thing. You wouldn't call it that, or they're not counting it in. So they're trying to basically keep people knowing what they're writing about.
Yeah.
And knowing like this is how you load and lever actions and all that stuff, the actions of all the mechanical bits. And it sounded fantastic. Like I already know most of this myself in a lot of ways, but having the perspective of a writer on this who's coming into it would be fun to see.
Because I will say, there was a audiobook I was listening to, and she was trying to describe something from the 1700s, and I'm just sitting there going, that is the wrong word. That is not what that is. Wrong.
Yep. And now hundreds of thousands of people were going to call it that because that's what that guy did. Because apparently his research was bupkis.
That happens. Yep. It makes you crazy.
That could be a whole episode, I tell you.
Bupkis things we find in alternate history. That would be a good episode.
Misunderstandings of history and language and all that mess. Oh yeah.
Well, and things that catch on and stick, and they were never true to begin with, but it's just stuck in the lore, and now people believe it. And yeah,
like corsets being worn on the outside of your clothes.
Don't get me started. Hey, but you know what? On TV, makes me crazy. Makes me crazy. You do not wear corset against bare skin.
And you also don't wear them backwards with the lacing in the front.
I have not seen that.
I've seen it on a few.
Mm-hmm. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Hollywood.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, man.
Yep. Yeah. Pet peeve. Yeah. It's
There
like
was, there was an event 10 years ago that I was part of the actors group that was going to be performing or sort of playing off people. And one of my actors decided she wanted to be, she hadn't worn a corset before, and she got one to fit her costume. And she sort of made some alterations and brought it out to one of our rehearsals. And I'm looking at it, and it doesn't seem right. I'm looking at it, I'm staring at it, and then it dawns on me. She's wearing it upside down.
Oh.
How do you...
All the time. It happens all the time.
Really?
Yes, it absolutely happens all the time. I see it at Ren Fair at least 5 times a day. I have seen overbusts worn as underbusts upside down. I have seen underbusts being worn as overbusts very, very badly.
Oh no.
It's a thing.
Well, I'm glad we recognized what was going on, because by the time the show happened, she'd fixed it and she looked great. But for that moment, it was like, oh, wait a minute. That's not right.
There's something not right.
It'd be great if we could capture these moments and we could have just like a long, like, and here's how you do it wrong, and here's how you do it right. Wrong,
well,
right.
There is a little phrase that we use in our fittings for selling corsets at fair, and that is, garters go to the ground, don't wear your corset upside down.
Oh.
Because our corsets have little garter loops sewn into the bottom so that you can buy garters and attach them in. But people think that they're hangers for hanging them in your closet.
Oh no!
I mean, the closet doesn't
Substantial
care.
hanger. I mean, and again, that's a whole reason we need to educate people on old stuff that want to be involved. That's the whole key to this. That's 90%
Erica's favorite
of our
phrase
job.
is boots before corset.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, I can do mine, but that's because I'm me.
Yeah.
I'm just so used to lining up. I've done this for a lot of girls. It's just one of those things. I'm the guy that'll like throw them up against a wall and start hauling up on their corset things and tying them off for them. Okay, so Are
you in a romance novel?
I mean, it's definitely not that, because it was like our entire crew and like half the girls, all the guys are still getting ready. All the girls are waiting outside the bathroom. Like
it's just the evocative imagery of throwing them against the wall and laces flying.
It could
I was
be
at a
romantic.
party like that once.
This was just purely efficient. I'm sitting there with my big ass boot pushing up against them and hauling it like
An assembly line of women he's strapping into corsets.
All right, you're good. Next one.
Oh my god.
I need a cigarette.
We got to be out of here before 11. Come on, people. Closing down.
Right.
The hotel's not going to let us in here any longer.
Jesus. Alrighty, well, Jack has lived an interesting life. Any other stories for us?
So, Blue Stocking, you were not there for the poetry slam, I guess. At Steampunk November. I think it's a regular thing. They have like a poetry reading.
When?
This year I saw it on Sunday.
Okay.
I don't know if it was the only one that they had, but
I think they do it at least once a day.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
Apparently quite popular because the saloon is chock full. I couldn't even open the door.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Okay. Because Shannon is actually a poet. Very good poet. If I had known that, I might have had her come up with something.
Well,
maybe for next year. I'll get her working on that.
Because
Nice.
is the group that runs it the Sea Dog Slam?
I have no idea. I am no poet.
It's been a while, so.
I was just trying to get a beer and I couldn't get in.
What's going on in here? Oh no, it's culture. Culture's in the way of my beer getting.
It's funny because there was a little guy with a little red wagon sitting outside next to it, and he's like, "Hey, buddy, you want to buy a beer?"
Really?
I love Sundays.
I got beer and wine for $1.
Fell off the back of a truck? Fell off the back of a wagon?
For $1? Okay. I bought a glass of wine. I forget to kitty.
Yes. I very much appreciated that and finally realized, like, I don't know, very shortly into that cup that I had not eaten.
Oh, no.
I brought kitty lunch.
Yes.
Eating.
Liquid lunch. But yeah, so on Sunday they're trying to clear out the bar. So they mark everything down for much cheaper to try to get it out.
Yeah.
And they send people around with little carts and wagons advertising cheap beer.
I have been a proponent of the cheap beer wagon from that. As we're all closing down our tents and stuff, they'll come by going, 50 cents. We got 5 left. No one wants them. I'm like, I'll take them all. I'll sit there, crack one open while loading up the rest of my gear.
They should advertise it. Sunday brunch.
There you
Steampunk
go.
November Sunday brunch. All liquors that we can fit in this wagon, marked down. Be ready.
You need to make it like a vendor. What do you call it when you get back from like a mission or something? You have to be
Deprogrammed?
Debriefing.
You gotta be on
Debrief?
program. What are you talking about? Debriefing. That's the one I'm looking for. And just have like basically that, and have all your stuff that's left over go to your vendors. and have like a debriefing about things and how things might be going next year, and seeing what we have your 30 minutes of what did we do right, what did we do wrong, and for any vendor who wanted to stay gets free food.
There you go.
Lovely. One event that I do calls that float the keg.
Yep.
That sounds like fun.
It's time to float
Speaking
the
of
keg
fun,
facts.
Speaking of fun, I see that Laura Mayer has tuned in, and I promised her that I would bring it up. Her Kickstarter, which she was on our show a few weeks ago, for Cogs Aplenty, is in its final week. So, her steampunk murder mystery game, it's in its final week on Kickstarter, and it really needs a boost. So if you have not checked it out yet and put in your pledge, she could really use it, and that way we can all get our game. And if you didn't see the episode, go back and watch that episode or download the podcast, because she goes into it in detail, and it sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. So just go to Kickstarter, look up Cogs Aplenty, and check it out.
Go donate before you become a plot point in it.
Yeah, 1 week left, so get to it. Okay, sorry, I just needed to throw that in. Yeah, we're coming up on the end of the year. It's coming fast. Did you realize that Thanksgiving is next week?
Yep.
I know.
I don't like it.
I know. It's too fast. I have too many things left. Well, I have my prospectus left to do. So, no.
Like,
Not enough
it
time.
was going really slow for me up until about April, and I switched jobs, and then suddenly it's just like May, August, September, October. I'm like, wait, what? What happened to June? I don't remember.
Yeah, summer was weird.
Like, summer hit. It was hot. I remember it being hot. I remember being terribly
Hot forever.
warm and having to mow my lawn, and then suddenly it's cold.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
brain was melted by June, so I don't
Yeah, it
remember
was-
much of June.
Just a
Yeah, I've tried
whirlwind
to
and
block
nowhere
out the
here.
summer. The summer was a weird roller coaster, and I didn't like it. Yeah.
I got heat exhaustion repeatedly in April and March, or
no.
April and May.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's not good.
That's why I switched jobs. I was out in the sun a lot. I hated that job. I was out there last year throughout August, drinking like 26 pack of water by myself and pretty much losing brain cells, I'm sure.
Oh no.
So I'm done with that job. I'm in a different job now. It's great. It's fun. I'm happy.
Hooray.
Yay.
Allows me to do more of this.
What,
I always
Drake?
feel like this is
Talk
this
shit.
is always
you
an
know?
awkward season, because I've been avoiding the guy who mows my lawn all summer because my lawn was dead.
Yeah, everybody's lawn was dead. There was no yard work.
And we've gotten to the point where it's growing back again. And I actually need the lawn guy, so I have to return his call.
We know.
Hey, I'm sorry. I kind of bounced. I didn't need your service. Now I need your services.
So we've been avoiding the tree guys because all of the tree guys that get hired for our neighborhood see the dead tree in our front yard and come knocking on our door and
Oh,
leaving
yeah.
us business cards, and we're like, okay, we're gonna
Please
try to do it
stop.
ourselves, but
Yeah.
thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. Like my HOA says we have to have 2 trees in our front yard, and it's funny because a couple of the trees in some of the other houses have died, but they've left up the dead tree because it still counts for the HOA,
Technically.
even though the HOA tells them they need to take it down. But then they stipulate the fact that if they do, they have to replace the tree, and so being ugly is not necessarily against the rules. Having 1 tree is. So there's like,
Wait.
thanks. We're just gonna leave this stick sticking out of our. And they're dressing it up now, so it now has like Halloween ornaments on it.
Nice.
So
There
I'm
you
like,
go.
now it's gonna have Christmas on it. I'm like, this is gonna be a thing. It's just gonna become like a Festivus pole or whatever the time being it's going to need to be.
Need to put
Like,
one
I'm
of those
pretty sure we'll
skeletons
have
right by
eggs
it.
on it or something for
Come the
oh,
spring, it'll be the maypole.
There you
Have
go.
ribbons wrapped around.
There we go. That's when you start coming up with stuff to have it as an excuse. It's like it's the 4th of July poll. It's the June whatever the heck.
How much more work can we go to instead of just
Yeah, exactly.
taking out the tree?
We're
and
just gonna have
putting a new
something
one?
every month. We're gonna just dress it up for whatever. So you start coming up with random religious reasons to have it up. This is gonna be fun. I'm gonna have to go meet the guy and see if I can help him out.
When I got home from Steampunk November this year, Erica had taken down the Halloween stuff that we hadn't taken down because it's kept raining, so the stuff was wet.
Yeah.
So when I got home, the scarecrow in my front yard has a Christmas costume on now,
Yes.
and there are Christmas presents around the pumpkins that I made for Halloween.
Yes.
And the presents are being held down by the skulls from Halloween.
Nice. That is amazing.
It's awesome.
So at my office, the lady, with our HR lady, loves Christmas, and so she's just been waiting. Like, my office was like all about Halloween. The media specialist that works with me, and I'm the IT guy, so we were really sharing an office. So we had like the bats and whatnot up in our office, and suddenly the whole like rec room, like all of our like wonderful posters that have like all the HR stuff or like wonderful like motivational sayings are all wrapped now. They look like presents that are about that thick and about like 3x5 on the walls. And apparently my boss doesn't like Christmas ornaments, and he's gone for the week. So this is gonna be fun next week when he shows back up and everything's wrapped. And
Oh no.
yeah, it's apparently a war that her and him go on every year. So this is just the ongoing, and every year it gets a little more. And so now, all of our stuff on the walls are wrapped. This will be fun. And the ongoing Christmas war at my office.
Lord.
Well, we're getting on to 9:00. So as much as I hate to say it, I guess we gotta wind this down for the episode. Is that okay? Did anybody need to add anything before we go into all the stuff?
Another Steampunk November successful.
Yep, in the
Successful.
bag. Done and dusted.
Now we have Dickens on the Strand to look forward to the first weekend in December, which is really the other big Texas event historically, which is also awesome. If you have a chance to go to Dickens on the Strand in Galveston, that is totally cool and an awesome shopping experience to get your Christmas gifts that you haven't found yet.
Take pictures and send them to us.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, so let me tell you about our patrons. J.R. Sears' novel, A School for the Great Game. Elizabeth Bancroft, an Edwardian teen, resents being sent to college in India. The college, in fact, is a British Indian school for spies, where Elizabeth will learn the family business of espionage, martial arts, and Tibetan mystic arts. A School for the Great Game is the first in the Steampunk Raj series, available on Amazon. We are brought to you in part by Fair Treasures, which has a selection of Texas-made female-presenting costumes and accessories for Renaissance fair and steampunk wear, and one-of-a-kind and imported jewelry. You can shop Fair Treasures at www.fairtreasures.com or on Etsy. Thank you, Kitty. We're also brought to you by Jenny and Ryan Shaver, and of course, Rita and Lawrence Allen. Thank you guys so much. You can find us on Facebook at Texas Steampunk Connection, and email us at texassteampunkconnection@gmail.com. Our podcast can be found at texassteampunkconnection.podbean.com or through pretty much any podcast search that you use. We're on Twitter at TXSteamConnect1, as long as Twitter still exists. Who knows how long that will be. And occasionally we show up on YouTube and Rumble through the Steam Chat subscription box that Jack handles. So thank you, Jack.
Welcome.
And our music, of course, is brought to you by Zapsplat.com, which gives us complete permission to use this music. Facebook, there's no need to block us. Yeah. Does anybody have anything to add as we are going out?
No, I was just really excited to get to see all of you.
It was great.
It was wonderful.
It has been great to see every one of you this weekend. I'm looking forward to the next time we get together. And once more, to remind you, Cogs Aplenty, a steampunk murder mystery game. It's only got a week left, so go check that out.
Do it.
And we'll be back in 2 weeks on Tuesday. Until then, mind your gauges.
Mind your gauges.
Mind your gauges.